I am sort of convinced that the movie MCU Ant-Man design is loosely based on United Stand because that was like the first armored like Ant-Man design.
So we are officially live. I'm just waiting for it to start the broadcast. There we go.
Is anybody else joining, or just us two?
It's just us, because it's the afternoon.
Okay.
And I also didn't ask anybody. But, cool. Alright, so I think we're live. I tweeted it out.
Well, I should tweet out, the stream also.
But yeah, no, Avengers United Stand is a special little,
It's like, it's sad, because, like,
I don't even know what
during that time, there was, it sadly took down the Silver Surfer cartoon, which I think was actually really good.
The Silver Surfer cartoon is a absolute modern masterpiece of our time, and should not have been canceled, but Marvel bankruptcy.
And then there's the Spider-Man Unlimited, where it's like...
Thank God that got killed.
I don't understand what the show was going for. It was like...
The show started as being a Spider-Man 2099 adaptation, and then became
it became this weird pseudo-sequel to the animated series.
Right, yeah. No, so it's like one of those weird things.
It's kind of weird, when people call the Marvel cartoons bad nowadays without actually watching the shows.
They're honestly not as bad as the 1998 canceled ones. Yeah. I'm just checking the PlayStation Store right now and seeing if anything's available, because I'm not sure if I have to download characters individually.
Now, I think a lot of that the complaints are unvalid for a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, because I really enjoy them. Hulk and the Agents of Smash is my favorite.
Hulk and the Smash, I think it has really good writing, but Disney or Marvel give that team absolutely no budget for animation.
That's true. Yeah, that's always the biggest hurdle they've had. Huh. Okay, this is interesting. There's now a new menu on the menu that allows you to access the friends list, but it just shows your friends list and not really who's actually playing the game.
Did they add
They added private lobbies, as far as I know. Alright, I'm going into the... Oh, look at that. Jen and Trey have nice little locks over them, because I don't think I can get them yet. So I pull up Jen, and I go to the PlayStation Store, and they're not available. So, I need to edit the title of this stream, because I cannot play as Jen or Trey yet.
Yeah, that's the keyword.
Thanks, Sony.
It's either Sony or Enway's still trying to get them live.
I don't really know. Hello. Live for... Oh, Battle for the Grid fans liked my my tweet out. So I guess I'm just gonna go into training and look at Sparks.
Oh, there was a lot of updates, a lot of updates for not just new characters, but a lot of cosmetic and mechanic updates also, right?
Yeah, and there was a huge patch notes list that I want to kind of go over a bit. But first, we're just gonna because and there's a whole list of stuff that's happened.
One thing I find interesting watching that reveal trailer is Jen's voice sounds different from Carrie Gillen, who voices Jen in the Battle for Grid story mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure did they get a new actor because she wasn't available, or is one of those last minute things weird?
Yeah, I think it's one of those weird things. Hello. I think the graphics improved.
I feel like because that trailer,
I feel like they added silver trim to Magna Defender here.
Oh, I think, because I'm trying to remember. This model looks. I'm gonna pop up. Let me pop up an older video for Battle Grid and to see
Anyone
if they
in
do
the
that.
chat that may be watching, if you can hear us,
First off,
comment so
welcome.
we know that everything works. And welcome.
First off, welcome.
I'm liking the spark damage. I'm liking the screen shake. There's like more detail around the super meter bars, which is pretty cool.
Oh, a lot more. Yeah, a lot more.
The audio balance sounds a little better. So no, that was the biggest issue.
That was my biggest, yeah, that was my biggest issue with Suchi in the second update, is the audio balance was pretty bad. Like, my defender would sound really quiet, but Tree would sound like super loud.
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting they said the spark damage only applies to weapon attacks, not physical attacks. So, like, Cat's never gonna have spark damage because she's just all physical attacks.
Mag Defender, his solo highlights are a little more pronounced, I think. He did have them, but it was a little pronounced.
It almost looks like they did a texture pack or something.
You have failed!
Probably, you probably get textures that spruce up the game. I still don't, even before the texture pack, I still don't think this game looks like a mobile game when
I think it looked like it wasn't like it's like, oh my god, AAA fighting game that costs, you know, $70 million to make and like 5,000 people. This is like a team of 50 people that really were like, yeah, we want to make a
you know, there's
nice
some people that call
game.
You know, some people call Ultra Alliance 3 a Wii game. I'm like, how?
Those people are just stuck in the, oh, nitty-gritty is the best way to look, and not realizing that it's a living comic book.
Personally, Ultra Alliance 3 looks better in terms of like style than the Square Enix Avengers game.
I agree. I mean, the Square Enix Avengers game, in all fairness, is like more like almost a year out. But
like, I'm not like,
yeah.
Mind you, like, I don't think the game. I'm not one of those people that complain that it looks like too much like MCU or it doesn't look like MCU. My biggest complaint is like, I think
there's only
like
one woman on the team and there's no people of color at all.
Oh yeah, it's drab. It's like
I can take crappy visuals as long as there's like a balanced team roster.
Oh yeah, like one of the questions is why was Clint Barton taking a nap during all that? Like, it's pretty much the movie team minus Clint. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, I'm like, if you're just gonna copy the movie team, then just make the movie team. Don't bother like.
And like they show Hank Pym, but it's like just the doctor, like Professor Hank Pym instead of like Ant-Man Hank Pym. So I'm guessing that's what he's got playing.
My biggest question right now is why is Captain Marvel not in this game on the base game?
Like if your main plot is Cap's dead, then have Carol replace him or some other people. Like the biggest like theory for that game to the story is like since there was a Terrigen wave apparently that blew up in the healthcare that Kamala might be a big part of that game, which I'm all for because I'm a Kamala Khan fan.
I love Kamala, but we need Carol to have Kamala.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, Kamala's motivation for being a hero.
Which is why, as much as I really like Kamala, I don't see her that being MCU into like a couple years down since Captain Marvel is now established in the MCU, so it's hard for Kamala's idolization of her makes sense.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, she's got to be able to, it's like the whole thing is that, she becomes Miss Marvel because, she loves Captain Marvel, and so, you need Captain Marvel to be well established in the world where she's just kind of emerging at this point.
Yeah, there's some characters that I would love to see in the big screen, but in terms of trying to connect to the MCU lore, it doesn't really make sense in terms of like how the MCU is going. Like I can't see like any of the other. I can't see some characters like Nadia Pym being in MCU because I don't think Hank hasn't gone through the stuff that would cause Nadia to be reborn,
right,
and stuff like that. And like then again, that's why this is why I just really stick in terms of like comic characters being in cartoons because they don't have to deal with that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how animated superhero properties can just throw in character backstories and be comics accurate and not even think about it, but then live-action movies always stumble.
Unless you're like Avengers Assemble TNG, where they introduce Vision out of nowhere.
That's just because he was in the movie.
Oh.
I feel like season 3 was the, look, they're in the movie, let's add them to the show.
Trust me, it is, because Vision just comes out of nowhere, and like, he's still voiced by David Cage, who voices Jarvis in the previous season of Assemble.
Right.
So like, the biggest problem there is Vision's backstory and Age of Ultron cannot fit into Assemble's storyline, into the Assemble's lore and storyline. So like, he just, oh look, it's Vision, he's there! And
yeah,
then there's
he's just out of nowhere.
And then there's Wasp in season 5, where there's like huge confusion of which Wasp it was. Like it was based on the hopes. Like her design is based on hope from the movie, but a lot of like media stuff calls her Janet. But also some of the producers apparently call her Nadia. Also.
So it's just like a giant confusing mess of law.
It doesn't help. In the credits of season 4 of Assemble, they just credit her as the Wasp. No, like, civilian name at all.
That's kind of like my issue with the original Teen Titans cartoon. It's like, nobody has a civilian identity, they're just whatever superhero name they are.
Oh, and I kind of gets ridiculous in season 4 of Assemble, where everybody's in costume only except for, like, maybe Kamala. Season 4 of Assemble is a hot mess for, like, I think it's like the worst season because it's kind of a beautiful hot mess. The Black Panther's quest is a little bit better, but some of the writing is pretty iffy.
Yeah.
It doesn't help with season 5 of Assemble, where there's an episode where they cross over with Marvel Spider-Man Peter, and that causes gigantic continuity, like, what continuity
I've basically determined that Guardians of the Galaxy created a new timeline, so anything that crosses over
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
like, Marvel, Spider-Man, Guardians, and, like, Season 5 of Avengers are just one timeline, and then everything else is another timeline.
For Guardians of the Galaxy, I just, at this point, just throw it into its own thing, because the Guardian cartoon, it's like a sequel to the first movie, and like it's like a sequel. It's one of those like cartoon. You remember like the 2000s cartoon sequel of the movie kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of like how the MTV Spider-Man show was like a sequel.
It's kind of a sequel to Spider-Man 1. Yeah, so it's Guardians is with its own identity, which honestly is for the better, because the Guardians cartoon is really good, but dang it, it's written by the producers Marty Eisenberg, which is one of my favorite writers, cartoon writers.
Yeah, he's great.
But it was like the whole time at this point is kind of going flushing down the toilet, where like Marvel Spider-Man sets up its own Avengers team, so it's its own world. Meanwhile, Assemble tried to tie into that, even though that the Avengers team in the Marvel Spider-Man series is not the pre-established Avengers Assemble team, so it's like a dying continuity headache.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, the 90s shows had the giant continuity headache. Like, look, it's a connected universe, but we're not actually taking these steps to make sure
it's why I know it's like, it's one of those points, it's like, it's really reading some behind the scenes for Avengers Assemble, because Avengers Assemble is the most Disney controlled of all the Marvel cartoons.
Absolutely,
so it's
that's
like,
also why I think it ran for like 125 episodes or something like that.
Is that fine? It's the longest running Avengers cartoon.
It's the longest running Marvel cartoon, period.
Yeah,
it's longer than like most DC shows even, and DC shows typically run longer than Marvel.
Not counting like, I don't count Teen Titans Go as part of a DC cartoon. It is a DC cartoon, but it's its own separate thing that
I think because it has shorter episodes, it gets away with having
more episodes. But the not counting Teen Titans Go, it is the longest, like it's even longer than most. I think the longest was.
I think it's longer than Batman the Animated Series. That
Anime series only 5 seasons.
Adventures, yeah.
It's only 4 seasons, yeah.
It's four seasons, but it's also like I think total like 89 episodes because the season counts are all weird. It's 90s.
Okay, speaking of that, I have DC. I'm sharing DC Universe with a friend, and Batman the Animated Series is weird on DC Universe, where it's like the new Batman Adventures is a separate thing, which okay, fine, that's fair. But like Batman the Animated Series only has 2 seasons for some reason.
Yeah, it only has 2 seasons. The DVD set's released as 4 because the first season's 65 episodes.
Oh, okay, so did they combine season 2 and 3 then?
Yeah, basically, like,
then?
the way it worked out was that, like, the two, like, they split up. Essentially, that's how it worked out for the DVDs. They split Season 1, Batman the Animated Series, into half to do 2 volumes because it was 65 episodes. Then Season 3 is actually Adventures of Batman and Robin, which is Season 2. And then Season 4 was
New Batman Adventures.
New Batman Adventures, which was
technically season 4, but technically season 3.
Yeah, technically Season 3, technically Season 4, technically its own show because it has a new art style, but that was just so it could mesh well with the Superman animated series. Because there was a big airing gap between Adventures of Batman and Robin and New Batman. It was like a 2-year
New Batman
gap.
Adventure. Yeah. It's honestly kind of like, it's one of those like headache-inducing.
It is. Luckily, the DC anime universe in general is very straightforward. Unlike Power Rangers, where timelines are a nightmare.
Well, okay, like, the 10th verse is pretty chronological, until you get to a lot of the modern stuff, like Batman and Harley and the Fatal 5. Just like the Fatal 5 could easily take place just after JLU, but like...
I kind of place it as like being like a couple years after JLU. It's like,
and then
JLU happened, and then, yeah. And then Batman Harley, which is a nightmare.
I don't like that movie. I personally really just don't like that movie.
I take that movie with so much stride, I don't even remember it existing. But, like, Watchtower Database figured out its timeline fits between seasons of JLU.
I've been watching Watchtower Database, and I think the channel's fine, though I really don't like a lot of the personalities on there.
Yeah, it's like anything. It's like you find channels that you like the personalities of, and for me, I find their timeline videos to be fascinating. I'm working on piecing together a timeline for the Power Rangers Boom comics because I realized a lot of its annuals and other specials have all these stories that take place in different points in time.
Oh yeah, trust me. I was reading Go-Go. I started reading Go after the first Battle of the Bridge thing you did. Well, not the first, but like I think when the first free DLC came out. I started reading both main book and Go-Go, and reading them, I was like, how does Go-Go fit into the main timeline? Because there's a lot of things where it's like, wait, how does this connect if this doesn't connect? And then Go-Go Power Rangers Forever comes out, and it's like, oh, okay, they're pretty much wrapping everything up.
Yeah, and so that's the thing that I'm curious about is, because with the way that Go-Go's worked out is that it's like, the 20 issues plus Forever makes up the time after the Rangers form before the Green with Evil storyline. Because, like, basically they said Green with Evil takes place in the same way it did in the TV show.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of curious where Go-Go 21 takes place, since it also features the Green Ranger.
The preview images from I saw shows Kim and Tom on a date, so that could either be post Green Evil or during Green with Evil, like maybe before Tommy gets, taken by Rita.
I'm thinking what Go-Go's... Because, like... So it's like hard to say, and this is why I'm trying to piece together a timeline before Necessary Evil stuff. But the thing is, I think after reading the issues, it seems like to me that Go-Go might take place after Shattered Grid, but because Ranger Slayer had shot Tommy with an arrow during the Shattered Grid issues,
that caused like a time split. You think?
Right. So where he didn't die when the universe got restored after defeating Draken. Like, he didn't die, and so Go-Go is now telling the story after what would have been his death, leading into how he got to become the White Ranger as we're seeing in Mighty Morphin.
Possibly, I would say, God, Go-Go's just a fantastic book.
Go-Go Power Rangers is fantastic, and I'm so happy that Ryan Perot's doing both.
I like the main book a lot. I think Kyle Hayes is a great writer, but I grew I think Go-Go. I mean, main book is a real good epic story. I just grew to love Go-Go's, and it Go-Go's cast so much.
The thing that got me with Go-Go initially was the artwork by Dan Mora, because Dan Mora is amazing.
I love that kind of like anime style. Like, I think it really works surprisingly well with that, like the cast, and like the thing. Like, I think that like it was. I think it's like the fact. I think Go-Go is so good because it's like it fleshes out the MMPR cast so much, and like honestly now it's kind of hard for me to go back to original Mighty Morphin a little bit because
basically
like,
for me, like I find that Mighty Morphin's more about overarching stories and Go-Go's more about personal character stories.
I'm talking about the show.
Oh yeah, the show. Yeah, no, like it's hard to go back after reading the comics.
Me, I really like pretty much like I really did like treating watching the show, but Go-Go just maybe just a big fan that carried us. I think Go-Go did. I fell in love with the Trini and Jason relationship because it's so genuine and cute, but like it made me sad. It really did make me sad when they had to break up at the end, but like it's a reasonable breakup also. It's a really kind of weird book.
And I wonder if some of the stuff with Tommy and Kimberly dating now is going to come up between Jason and Trini. Because they talked about how we can't date because we're both Rangers, but yeah, it's
one of those like the three main like I like Go-Go, Billy, and Zach a lot, but like, I think the highlight for me was the Jason, Trini, and Kimberly for Go-Go.
Absolutely.
A character I can't go back to now for original show is Kim because Kim is so fleshed out in Go-Go that it's like it's hard to kind of go. I love Amy Jo Johnson, Kim, but like it's hard to go back to that one now since how fleshed out Kim is and kind of how screwed up her family life is.
Yeah, and the stuff that like they kind of build on things that were introduced in the show. I loved I can't remember if it was in Go-Go or Mighty Morphin, but there was like a scene where they kind of explained why Bulk and Skull were bullies is because they're just scared of monster attacks and they're not sure how to handle that. And so they just push their fear onto other people.
I want to say that's mainly because Bulk and Skull and Go-Go were all about the high school stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it was still the high school stuff. It was like, oh, monsters. The reason why they're bullying people, essentially.
I like Skull. The Skull, Bulk and Skull and Go-Go were really great, also, especially like how like again like Go-Go definitely showed a nicer show like why Go-Go shows why so many people love Bulk and Skull so much, and I really like that, especially Skull. I kind of like how they kind of hint like that weird fan. I'm not sure it's still fan theory or not, but the whole fan theory that him end up marrying Skull and Samurai. I like they kind of tease that a little bit in Go-Go. It's like really good. It's one of those like I doubt it'll never happen because this is the Power Rangers, but like I want to see maybe like a Netflix animated series of Go-Go. I know they're probably gonna do the main book, so that's the more proper one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier to do stuff like, oh, hey, let's do Shattered Grid as opposed to like, let's do.
So these like the like these high school drama, but like I'm more attached to I'm really more attached to the high school drama stuff in Go-Go than like I really do enjoy Shattered Grid's story, but like it's just I'm more attached to Go-Go's writing, I think.
Yeah, I think Go-Go's characters is what makes it great. Oh, we have chat comments, and I completely did not see them.
Let's see. First time seeing gameplay of this game. Yo, good afternoon. Did the Pink just say spandex? Probably.
Did Pink Ranger say spandex? I'm gonna have to listen next time she's fighting, because I'm not sure if that's one of her lines. I know it's one of her lines in the TV show, though. She did talk about spandex at one point.
Yeah, going to that.
Oh my God, there's Jen. Oh my God, Jen and Schreier, I'm fighting in arcade mode. I can't play as them yet because Sony, but they're here.
Oh God, it's one of those stories that are in the game's data, but you can't play as them yet. Great.
Yeah, because they're in the game's data as part of the DLC, so you can fight against them and stuff, and play against them online. But yeah, I can't download them yet because Sony hasn't let me.
Sony's being Sony again.
God, I love how Jen uses her giant gun. It's wonderful.
I really like the voice cast they got for Bowser Bear, but like, if they do like a Netflix adaptation like the Boom Comics, something I can't really. I love also Dave John, but I can't really imagine Austin playing at least Go-Go, Jason. Like, the problem is like, especially in this case, he's clearly trying to imitate his younger voice.
Yeah, I think that if they were to do animated adaptations of the comics,
I think
we should have an original cast. I think.
I'm not sure. Well, knowing Netflix gonna be like actors because Summer's age, they want actors to play. Well, I don't like actors to play in their animated shows and let like that always comes a big problem unless you're like Castlevania where you have a really good voice director. But I'm not sure if you heard the cutscenes for Legend, but Yuri Lowenthal played Jason in that game, and I think he did a good job playing Jason in that game.
Yeah, I think he'd be good. The one thing I know for sure is I would let Barbara Goodson voice Rita again, because her new Rita voice that she used during the Shattered Grid live read, where it's like kind of creepy and unsettling, I really like it.
Oh yeah, the reason why, I think like the problem there is like how it's society under it shows like one of those things where like it's one of hard, it's one of like can't keep the voices anymore. But like if that's the case, then I can see it. Carrie Kieran plays Trini in this game. That's I think pretty good casting for Trini.
I think Megan Cameron as Kimberly is fantastic.
Yeah, I think she's good as I haven't seen the live reading of the Shattered Grid event, so I'm not sure. I kind of wish they choose a different voice for this game because it's more like high show Trini, high pitched Valley Girl, Amy Jo Johnson impersonation. So like,
yeah, it's kind of like she doesn't use the same it's like she's voicing Kimberly again for this game, but she doesn't have the same pitch. It's like she's pitched up higher.
Doesn't help it doesn't help with. Did they patch out the more phenomenal line for Ranger Slayer yet, or no?
I haven't checked because I don't like playing Ranger Slayer. Nothing against Ranger Slayer. I just don't like playing that character.
No, I love. Ranger Slayer I love, especially in Gogo. How just that big sister kind of character. But
I definitely didn't like what they did with her in Beyond the Grid.
Oh god, I still not yet read Beyond the Grid. I read the first issue and god.
It gets more frustrating, especially for me. Like as a Magnum Defender fan, I did not like the third act twist of Beyond the Grid.
Trust me, I don't read the first issue, but the characterization for the kids are like super off. No offense to Marguerite Bennett, because I think she's a very talented writer. I really enjoyed her Batwoman run, for example. I thought she nailed Kate Kane's voice perfectly. I just don't think she nailed the Ranger characters that she was given. Either she was given to use or picked. I don't know who was in charge of setting up that roster. I feel like it's a marketing thing. But I just don't think that those characters were a good fit for her. I think Solar Ranger and her friend had like some of the better dialogues. I feel like those characters fit. Those are original. Those are original. Those are original.
Those are original characters, so they fit her writing style, I think.
What threw me out with that is the wall. Wall of freaking text was like,
walls of text. And the thing is, the artwork's kind of strange too. The artwork does remind me of Batwoman. Because Batwoman ends up having, like, really weird abstract art with a lot of text.
No offense to that artist, but, man, all the Mike especially looks so off in, like, a lot of the panels.
Trust me, Mike's appearance is not the biggest problem with him in that book.
I love...
not to try to spoil things too much, but he literally betrays the team, like, in the last third of the story.
Question, do they write Magna Defender as more original Magna Defender than Mike Magna Defender?
I kind of feel like that, where it's like...
That guy's weird!
It feels like they got the character description for Magna Defender as, like, a lonely warrior who's full of sorrow, but then it's Mike.
You know what's weird? No, because in Shattered Grid, there was a scene between... It was Magna Defender and... Phantom Ranger? It's one of the extra heroes.
It was Phantom Ranger.
And then there was a dialogue where he's like, I like to keep my helmet on and stuff like that. And I'm like...
Well, because he was talking to Phantom Ranger and saying something... I remember the line, because Magna Defender, but he said, like, oh, so you're one of those helmet-on kind of Rangers? And so, the way the line read to me was that, for whatever reason, Mike was keeping his helmet on. And he just, like, felt weird because Phantom Ranger was, like, the only one that had his helmet still on. Because the rest of the Rangers in that scene had their helmets off, and like Dustin and Jack were wearing hammers and stuff. And the thing so at the time I thought, well, maybe because we never see him without the helmet on in the series, maybe the Magna Defender helmet is just part of the armor, and so it's either you get full armor or you get nothing.
You can't take it off, yeah.
Except in Beyond the Grid, he takes his helmet off.
God, yeah. Yeah, Metal Series where it's like, when I was reading the book, I thought, oh, it's Magno Fender, okay. But then Shattered Grid, and I'm like, no, that's Mike. And I'm like, huh? So,
yeah, because the tone
like,
of voice of the way the line read was like, yep, that's definitely Mike. But maybe it's Mike can't figure out how to get the helmet off, which I think is even funnier.
Tyrannosaurus!
Well, because like usually the extra heroes costumes we never see them helmetless.
Right.
A lot of the extra hero ones.
I would have laughed so hard if Phantom Ranger's like, no, I can take my helmet off, and then it's just like Dapu from Car Ranger, or Dapu's father from Car Ranger, and just watch the fandom be very confused at a very obscure reference.
Question. My favorite range. Shadow Grid's so frustrating. Beyond the Grid so frustrating. Like that has both Magna Fenner and Cam. Because Cam is my favorite ranger. And like the right for Cam is like it's not as bad as Mike, but like it's so out of character because like Cam, my first scene was Ninja Storm, and like Cam as a child always been my favorite ranger of all time. So like reading, so I kind of know, I know a lot about Cam's character, and reading Beyond the Grid, definitely Beyond the Grid. It's like his character is sort of like him, but like not really. And then there's Heckle, where it's like. I don't know what version of Heckle they're using. Like, I think it's pre-show. I think it's like post-show Heckle, but it's like
it's definitely post-show Heckle because of the origin they gave for him as the Dark Ranger, which has some very dark things about it, considering real-life events that happened after. But anyways, that's all I'm going to say on that because I kind of want to read that. That's like the Heckle origin story is the best issue Beyond the Grid by far. And I really think Heckle's one of the better written characters in the series.
Yeah, but I find it odd because like they wanted him to be just like quiet, like mysterious character, where he's like he was the complete opposite at him, Bound Charge.
Yeah, like the thing is that there's like I think there's a scene with him where he's rangered up and he's trying to avoid Tyler because he doesn't want the Dino Charge Rangers to know he's the Dark Ranger, I think. And it kind of goes into it in the origin too, but like
you had no chance.
My biggest complaint about the first issue Beyond the Grid is it was stupidly hard to figure out like following that first issue because like we keep jumping everywhere in that book. I'm like, wait, where am I?
Yeah, he uses a non-linear storytelling, which I think again works fine for Batwoman because she's a character with a lot of paths to explore. But for Power Rangers, it's better linear.
Well, the problem with Beyond the Grid is there's so many characters, because not only just Beyond the Grid team, but there was like the other Rangers and like and other Rangers stuff like so. It's like wait, I go like wait, where are we? Like I got like where are we?
I mean,
we keep
yeah,
jumping.
pretty much for me, the entire time reading it was a where are we?
Like yeah, like I need I need to do. I can't just skip Beyond the Grid because I want to know what the whole hubbub about it, and but also like does it tie into issue 40? My movie?
No, not at all. Literally, so like here's the thing, like without spoilers, Beyond the Grid ends in 39. Issue 40 starts with a recap to the final few pages of the Shattered Grid finale, and then we move on with the story. Never mentioning Beyond the Grid at all.
Okay.
With a lot of the marketing too, I've noticed is that it seems like Boom realized that Beyond the Grid was not living up to fan expectations.
Yeah.
People didn't like it. It wasn't getting good reviews, and they decided. I think it was supposed to last longer. I feel like it was supposed to be like a 12-issue arc, like some of the other arcs had been.
The thing is, like,
and I think they probably cut it short. Brought in Ryan to start Necessary Evil a little earlier. That's kind of what I feel like happened.
What I'm worried about is how poorly received Beyond the Grid is. I'm hoping that doesn't mean Boom will not do like one shots of other like because I feel like the whole reason Beyond the Grid was is just to see if like other series characters who sell.
Right,
so
right. And I think that was like the original intention was to be like, hey, can we get other, Rangers in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the thing is that I think it was a good experiment in that, but because the characters didn't feel like the characters we know, and they weren't distinctively supposed to be different versions because of the Shattered Grid thing pulling them from points in the TV show timeline, which Shattered Grid had this wonderful thing of Rangers go back to where they were and no one remembers what happens, so you never have to worry about continuity problems.
Yeah, you don't have to it's already giant. It's already clearly Shattered Grid is not majorly canon to the TV show, since the Mighty Morphin team in Boom is modern day Mighty Morphin, not 90s.
Yeah, it's kind of like every world, like every Ranger that shows up is the Boom Comics version of that Ranger. But again, I'm gonna probably end up making a whole video on timelines for the Boom Comics. But the way I've kind of figured it out is like, oh, the RPM story fits within the RPM's timeline.
You think like the annual for Shattered Grid, the annual for Shattered Grid, I think fits perfectly to a lot of points in the show. Like Zio clearly after the finale, ST I think is at the finale probably also.
Yeah, and then with RPM it takes place during the time Gem and Gemmo went off on a side mission.
Yeah,
they mentioned I think they mentioned him being there, but then.
Yeah, speaking of abstract art from Beyond the Ground, I think the artist for the RPM segment of the annual, I think is actually a better example of abstract art and PR, because reading that part, it really, I'm not sure you ever heard of the show on Disney XD, but it's called Mortal City.
It
reminds me of that kind of stuff. It reminds me of that kind of stuff, that very blocky style. But I think that's better to the abstract art, but still, that could fit in your dark and stuff. Yeah, that stuff. But
I think for the future of more one-shots featuring other teams, it's going to come down to how well does the Psychopath sell. Because the Psychopath is Psycho Ranger in space kind of story. So what you have is, main book is Mighty Morphin for 2 books. And then you have Soul the Dragon brings in stuff from SPD, but it's TV show canon, but it's Tommy. It's Tommy first and foremost. So it's still got that Mighty Morphin connection.
Is that Boom Tommy or show
No, it's
Tommy?
TV Tommy.
Oh, okay, so that's TV show universe.
Soul of the Dragon is canon to the TV universe, the Prime timeline, and is actually set up by Dimension Ranger.
Yeah, because I haven't read that yet, but doesn't that kind of explain where the Master Morpher comes from?
They have a flashback for the Master Morpher, but they also stuff introduced in that, Tommy and Kat being married, Tommy having a son, the dimensional portal things. All that is set up within Dimensions in Danger and is played upon in Soul of the Dragon. It was a very collaborative effort, and I gotta applaud Saban and Boom for pulling that off, because that doesn't happen very often.
The Dangers is interesting because, that was written far before Beyond the Grid, right?
Yeah, it was written before Beyond the Grid, yeah, but the thing was that...
No, not Beyond the Grid, Shattered Grid.
Yeah, basically, Shattered Grid was something that had been apparently planned since the beginning of Mighty Morphin. The Mighty Morphin comics, they were planning to use Shattered Grid as part of, the big final arc for Kyle Higgins. And so it's possible they had that in mind while they were trying to put together Dimensions in Danger, but specifically they knew where they were wanting to do probably more with Tommy, and I'm probably thinking, based on production timelines, that Kyle Higgins wrote Soul of the Dragon based on Dimensions in Danger, less so than Dimensions in Danger being specifically made to set up Soul of the Dragon.
Well, what's interesting is the device in the dimension device in Dimension Danger, that appeared earlier in an issue of Boom, wasn't it? I forget, it was either the end.
It did, yeah. It happened before, and it's very much a thing of Power Rangers films 2 seasons back to back, monthly. There's all kinds of different scheduling timelines. We really wanted to figure out where was the origin of this, but it was probably hey, we're going to use this item in the show because we already filmed it. You can put it in the comics.
One thing I'm kind of really hoping Hasbro does is try to incorporate comic subs, try to slowly incorporate comic subs to other media, either the show or storyline stuff. Battle of the Grid, I think is a really good close second because there's a lot of people who have not read the comics have played the game and want to read the comics, and let's face it, I always kind of want to know the reaction to a lot of people playing this game because you've only seen the show or just seen Mighty Morphin and never heard the comics. So I'm I'm curious about their doctor. Like, who the hell is this Lord Draken?
So I'm not exactly sure how people's reaction is to the video game, but I've been following the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid board game very closely, and for example, there's a big board game group called Team Covenant who does like custom board game pieces, does live playthroughs and stuff. They got the game, and a lot of them knew Mighty Morphin, but nothing else. But after playing as different characters from the comics that were within the game, they start looking things up. Who are the Hyperforce Rangers? Who is Time Force? And so now they started to look into the franchise deeper because they were like, oh, I played this really cool board game. I want to know more about the characters I'm playing as. So I'm kind of hoping that's what happens here, as this is something that I very much think that this being like a very easy $20 entry point game makes it very nice for everyone to kind of, you know, oh, I remember Power Rangers. Oh, hey, it's a cool like 3v3 fighting game. Let me play it, have fun. All right, who's Lord Draken? Who is Magnum Defender?
Why is Trini in like a weird Godzilla suit? Which
exactly.
Whatever happened to Black Dragon armor? Like I was like
she used it during Shattered Grid's like battle, I think, and then it hasn't popped up since. But then again, we've only gotten like one story post Shattered Grid so far, and that's MMPR 40.
Did we count Dragon Armor Queen as the first female battleizer?
No, because wait. Okay, so it's either Dragon Armor. I'm gonna have to pin this down. I think Dragon Armor Trini debuted before Hyperforce Pink's battleizer.
Oh, yes, no. I feel bad because I have not yet to watch Hyperforce.
3-hour long episodes.
Yeah, I'm like,
I love Hyperforce. I really do. I think the characters are great. The format's unique. The storylines are awesome, but it ended like more than a year ago, and I'm on episode 21. So I'm not even like I'm on 21 to 25. Like I'm close to finishing it, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I wanted to check it out. Yeah, I definitely want to check it out, but it's like 3 hours and.
I would love a comic adaptation of Hyperforce.
Yeah, I want a comic adaptation or like. It's one of those because call me biased, but like I kind of main interest to see Hyperforce is Christina V's part of it, and I'm a big fan of Christina V, so like I want to check it out. And plus all the lore stuff also. Just I kind of want to. The reason why I'm not too into D&D stuff, not because I don't like it. It's more like I just don't.
If it's just not your style, it's not your style. Like that's the thing. It's like you either like the D&D style or you don't like the D&D style. There's no really no middle ground there.
There's a difference between like me like this past weekend during vacation binging all Stranger Things compared to watching like a bunch of 3-hour episodes. I'm like, ooh, like yes, like I have
Ranger
something.
Slayer still says more phenomenal.
2, 1.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like sometimes like for me, for example, like I used to listen to a lot of podcasts. And so for me, Hyperforce feels like just a podcast with a video companion. Because I end up listening to it a lot. Like, for example, like when I'm watching Hyperforce, I'm either, sometimes I'm at the gym watching Hyperforce. Sometimes I'm on my computer editing videos and watching Hyperforce because it's cat in the background. And so I enjoy it a lot. It's just like I'm never going to rewatch it. And I feel like it was it probably is a better experience live, since that was kind of the whole design of the series to begin with.
For me, I have work to do. I do work in my house. I assemble stuff in my dad's company, so I probably can put that on while I'm working. But because I've been doing that for Netflix. I've been doing that with Netflix. I've been sharing my Netflix time with a friend, and that's what I've been doing. I've been watching a lot of Netflix stuff. I got Netflix. We got Netflix just check out the new Evangelion Netflix stuff, and I've been watching stuff that's not the Evangelion Netflix stuff, like the.
I feel like I need to watch Evangelion so I can decide if I hate it for what the show is or because of the fan base.
I'm the same because I started watching Evangelion young, and I really didn't like it. Mind you, the first Evangelion I saw was Evangelion, and I
heard that was really bad.
I can still say like I haven't watched it. I should say after watching like commentary, like people watching fan commentary, I still think that's actually really fun and really terrible movie. But so I want to check back. I've been meant to checking out the new Netflix stuff, Netflix stuff and stuff like that, and but the thing is, I'm distracted by all the other stuff on Netflix, like the new Kamen Rider show, which is really good. The Stretch Armstrong and the Stretch Fighters. That is a really good show done by the Spectacular Spider-Man team. Like, super question why not even talk about it. Then again, people had this weird despisement for merchandise media. I'm like, this is one thing I've been wanting to do. Want to get back to video making is want to do a bunch of reviews on merchandise media cartoons. Because another show I've been watching is I've been watching as of late. I've been heavily into is Lego Ninjago, and I think that show's really great. And like personally, you want to see a show that a Ninja Steel better than Ninja Steel and even the Ninja. I think Ninjago is a better version of that concept than both Ninja Steel and the Ninja. Because it's
I agree there because it's like I haven't watched Ninjago in full. It's not my cup of tea, but it seems like it's like a very well produced show. It's very good in its storytelling and everything, and it sucks that the movie decided let's just ignore all that.
Oh, trust me, I watched the movie. I really hate the movie. As both have seen the show and compared to the other Lego movies.
Yeah, I don't like that movie because it's a bad movie. But I can imagine that if I was a fan of the show, it would sting much worse.
And the problem is because when the movie came out, there was 8 seasons of the show at that point, and this movie doesn't do any of all the show, and the show has a really interesting lore to it. And
it's also got a really big fan base.
Big fan base, and it doesn't use any of that. And what's the point? It was weird is that the main writers for the series at the time, the Hackman brothers, were in that movie, and they did get one of those. It was always going to be its own continuity, which makes sense. You don't want to there's always you don't want to make that a movie with much continuity baggage. You
don't want continuity baggage, but you want something that can resemble the property.
Yeah, and the Hackman Brothers wrote something that is its own continuity, but has a bunch of show lore or not. And Warner Bros. Scrapped it, and got 7 writers for that movie. And
when you have more than 3 writers on a movie, it's time to dump all the writers and start over because that's too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's going to just produce a very mediocre dish.
The Hackman brothers were only there to pretty much say yes or no to things they want to do in the movie.
Oh hey! And right now on the screen, I have Armored Red Ranger fighting Zeo Gold Ranger. Now soon to be available at San Diego Comic-Con.
So yeah, it's one of those you went to find funny because the show the Jocko is a series like Power Rangers where it has multiple members, 6 members, and how people joke about my more friend, the Tommy Oliver show featuring the Power Rangers. That was pretty much the Ninjago movie with oddly enough the main character being the green one. And yeah, being the center focus, while everybody else is a side character. But it's even worse in the Ninjago movie, where all the rest of the ninjas were just jokes, one-dimensional jokes, which I hated because each character in the show has some really good personalities and backstories and characters, and they're just all one jokes in the movie.
Yeah.
Ranger.
I hate when media doesn't use its supporting characters, which is why I am very disgruntled and upset at Toei over the new Digimon movie currently.
Oh, good.
Hello, look at our 1 minute of animation of Tai being sad. Thanks, we had 6 movies of that.
Oh, what? They're gonna Norm try in that new Digimon Adventure movie, right? That's what I heard.
I think it's a sequel to Try, and they're ignoring Zero 2 like always, but
I
hate how they've ignored Zero 2 so much that, basically to the point where the Zero kids, two kids don't matter, and I'm like, oh, come on. They were, an entire season, and it makes zero sense. It makes 0 sense that the 0-1 kids wouldn't be trying to be like, hey, where's the other friends of ours that we know? Because they spent a lot of time together.
You know, like, okay, it's weird. It's only Toei that with this obsession with the adventure. Because, you know, Bandai, you know, with the Digimon Evolution line, they're spreading to other Digimon. The Digimon Survivor, and the Digimon story games have all these different stories and Digimon from other seasons, except for Atmon.
But Toei's convinced the only characters in this franchise that seem to matter. It went from them saying, "Oh, the only characters that matter are Taichi and Yamato," but now it's just just Taichi, just Taichi and Agumon.
Yeah,
that's all everyone cares about, right? And it's like, but that's not the point. Because Digimon was always different than Pokemon, because Digimon was about a team of people and their partners. There's 8 characters, not 1. Pokemon has 1 with a bunch of rotating secondary characters.
Cast members, yeah. So like,
right? But Digimon has always been a team show. It's kind of like
the bond, the main, bonds, friendship, the friendship of bonds, yada yada.
The movie's called Last Evolution Bonds. And yet, all they want to show is Tai and Agumon, and everybody else's character designs came out, and they're so bland that they look like background characters. This is not just me hating on something. This is me hating on 7 movies now, where I'm just like, come on. Do you even realize why people like this show?
You know worse, because that whole plot of like, would it be Tai Agumon's the last adventure? I think I feel like that plot's been done in so much other like media.
I feel like the last adventure was called Episode 49 of 02, but sure, we had 6 movies to try. Can that be the end? Oh, is this really the end just because you put last in the title? Remember Heisei Generations Final and its sequel, Heisei Generations Forever, because crossover movies will never die as long as Toei exists?
You know, like, stuff like that, like, oh god, like, it's frustrating at this point with Toei with Digimon. It's like,
it's so frustrating as like a fan of Takeru Tatamon, because the only storyline he got in Try was, oh look, Tatamon's turning evil and trying to kill everyone. Thanks.
Like,
I just feel awful now. Thank you.
For me, it's frustrating because I grew up with every I grew up with all the Digimon series. From I think the first one to your Frontier Data Squad for me, and I am so frustrated. Especially those, like, I know those 2 are for some reason the black sheep of the franchise, but like, kind of frustrating.
I love Data Squad. It's my favorite Digimon show.
Oh yeah, same. Like,
and I never want them to do a sequel, a movie, a follow. I want them to never touch it. Leave it be.
I never want to touch it, but like, I'm talking about like, at least recognize the other series, like Tamers, Frontier. Yeah, I don't mind.
Tamers gets a lot of love in merchandise.
Yeah,
Frontier. I think they made a 10th anniversary D-scanner, unless I'm just misremembering.
Yeah, they did. I think they did. But at most, like, I don't want sequel things for the other series. I just want them to be recognized.
Right.
Because like when when Pokemon, at least with that new Pokemon Masters game, mobile game coming out, you're recognizing everything for the franchise. And Digimon's still stuck in this.
Adventure is the only show. Not even Adventure 2. Adventure is the only show that ever existed for Digimon. It's so frustrating because it's like you could make this franchise be an annual series like Sentai or Rider, where you have a rotating cast.
Like it used to be.
Right. They could have that if they would stop obsessing over just marketing the people that watched Adventure when they were kids, because that audience is shrinking. It's not growing, it's shrinking.
Yeah, because everybody, every Digimon fan I've seen on Twitter and such are just frustrated at this point.
We are, because the thing is that, like, I watched Adventure when it aired here in North America. Like, that was, my first exposure to Digimon was Adventure 1, but I watched more of Adventure 2, I think, because I liked it more.
I remember, because back in the Yo days of 2006-7 YouTube, when all the Digimon episodes were up at that point, I remember watching all of it. I remember watching 02, Frontier. I think the one I saw the most was Tamers. Really enough.
I watched a lot of them on Toon Disney reruns, and then I watched everything again recently when the DVDs came out.
I don't really get those DVDs. I don't get those DVDs. I don't get those DVDs, but
fantastic.
Unless you're Fusion, whereas I still question what's going on with those DVDs.
Okay, it's like the Fusion DVDs are fine. It's just they never dubbed the 3rd season, so there's never going to be a... Oh, good lord, that gold ring finish.
Yeah, but it's weird, but still, like...
But yeah, no, like, the thing is, like, I like Cross Wars / Fusion. Its 3rd season is horrible, and I'm actually kind of glad it never got dubbed because I watched it again. It's friggin' awful.
Okay, the concept of the legendary... What was it called? The Cross War... What was that? The anniversary thing you call again? Is it also called the Legendary Battle? Legendary
I think so.
War
That
also?
was the worst crossover since the Legendary Battle. Yeah.
No, trust me, like, that concept is cool, but... Oh, God.
The way they did it, it didn't have any feeling to it.
It's hey, look, it's Taiki / Tai. It's Yamamoto's Mad. Oh, look, there's Marcus. Oh, look, there's Takaru. Hey, look, it's that. And
like, at least they acknowledged every series that came before it. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna give them that credit.
Power of snow.
Oh, you know what freshens me more? You know what the most thing that freshens me in part of that? Is when the other Frontier cats appear just glowing spirit balls.
Yes. Like... I liked the concept. The execution just sucked. And on top of that, there's another, like, 20 episodes of terrible preceding it. I have not seen.
I don't think I see. I think I saw bits of Hunter was airing, but then just didn't watch it. Cause I can't watch. I might be watching other stuff at that time.
I don't know. I'm just glad they never dubbed it. Because the other thing is, too, is that I know that if they had dubbed it, they would have had to deal with that episode, and they probably would have had only replacement voice actors.
Okay, John Steph will probably come back, because he's now coming back to voice acting.
Right, but that was before he came back to voice acting.
Yeah, that came up before. His actor's apparently still working, but he only gets Rock Lee. Only gets returned for Rock Lee salaries, and that's actually, I think he's a really good actor, but he's still working. He's still working, but just only Rock Lee salary, but you know, probably come back.
Something that I think with. Sorry, just to slightly derail a little bit, but Aptly Monsters I really love, and I wish it got a 2nd season and a dub, but that never happened, and it makes me sad.
The biggest question with Digimon right now, especially in terms of Atmon, does Sabakus own that, or does Hasbro own that? That's the biggest question I have right now. It's like,
okay, so like Hasbro bought Power Rangers, they did not buy Saban Brands. Saban Brands is now closed. We literally don't know what's going on with the rights to VR Troopers, Beetleborgs, Digimon, anything.
Oh no, I think there was this marketing post, one of those like promotional posters about Hasbro talking, showing off their franchises. One of the franchises they bought from Saban was Glitter Force, such Pedicure.
Yeah, I think so. They also just recently picked up Zoids.
I'm learning. Okay, so apparently the new Zoids Wild anime is almost ending, so I'm surprised. I'm assuming when that ends, they're gonna, you're gonna bring that over here. But like, with Glitter Force, I was confused, and I look up Glitter Force. It's a pretty bad adaptation. It actually gets a lot of views on Netflix because a lot of little girls watch it and stuff like that, which makes sense. So like, I'm not surprised Saban has to pick that up because how well it did on Netflix.
Yeah.
It appears more than freaking Bionicle during the 1, which again, I think I'll take Glitter Force during the 1 because.
Oh god, I don't even want to. Don't start me on Bionicle if we're talking about franchises that got screwed over because of really poor decision making.
But still, like, Digimon's weird because Bandai America games that are releasing the games because they're releasing the Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, all the games are coming over, and we're getting V-Pets now. We're getting the anniversary
so
V-Pets.
Bandai still has a part. Bandai America still has a part of.
Plus, Bluefin still distributing the Evolution line.
I don't think the prices. They scare me.
I bought the first 3, and I was like, these are absolutely high quality, top of the line transforming Digimon figures, and I cannot afford to keep collecting.
I had the Agumon. I had the Agumon with the War Greymon. That's probably the only one I'm gonna get. That's the only one I'm gonna get.
Yeah, I got him, I got Garurumon, and I got Diablomon. I want the Angelomon and Holy Angemon, but yeah, money. They did also release those new Digimon model kits, but like I saw Omnivon once at Barnes & Nobles and never again. Yeah, they actually have a new line, which is the figurized standard are getting War Greymon and Omnimon being added.
Omnimon came out. I saw it once at Barnes Nobles and never again. I'm like,
That was the Digimon reboot kit. The Digimon figurized standard is different.
Okay. Speaking
Yeah,
of, every time you see that.
The thing for me with Digimon as well, this is the problem, this is why I think Toei's strategy is going to go inverted, is for me, when Digivolving Spirit started, I was like, you know what, I could make this my primary toy line, I could drop stuff, make sure I just, structure my budgets around it, but after all the stuff with Tri and the way that, the franchise is right now, I'm just like, I don't feel like throwing $90 at the franchise every other month. It just doesn't feel worth it anymore. Like, the figures are cool, but they're very expensive, and I don't really want to support the direction of the series anymore.
At the point where Hasbro and Playmates are at least Nickelodeon, actually marketing their other parts of the franchises more than goddamn Toei, because let's see, especially they're slowly bringing some Unicron Trilogy stuff in, things like the new Cybertron Optimus. And Nickelodeon advertising more of the Ninja Turtles franchise, like Ten Three. Before,
plus they're allowing people to make, other people to make figures, like how Becca's been able to bring the cartoon Turtles and the movie Turtles, and
the new Batman
is now doing the Batman TMNT packs.
I can't wait for those, especially. Those look great.
Oh, those look fantastic, and I really want to get them. I can. But I also want to buy an arcade cabinet later in the same time of year, so I'm trying to decide which I want more.
The TMNT 1-Up cabinet?
No, the Marvel Superheroes
the Marvel one, yeah.
Because it's got Marvel Superheroes, and that's one of my favorite fighting games ever, and the fact I can only play it on my PS3, I want an arcade cabinet version. Plus, it comes with X-Men Children of the Atom, which hasn't had a re-release since, I think, its original home release back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
On the PS1, so I really want that 1-Up cabinet from Marvel. Plus, I heard the Punisher game is good. I never played it, but it's not why I'm buying it.
Is that the rail shooter one, or is that the 2D side scroller one?
2D side scroller one, I think, because second player is Nick Fury. But I really want to get it because I've never owned an arcade cabinet, and that's like getting a 3/4 scale arcade cabinet with games that I really love.
Yeah, those World cabinets. Those World cabinets are really good for just like those casual people. Like they're not the greatest quality, but they're acceptable and
apparently what was it? Their Mortal Kombat cabinet that just came out recently is they fixed a bunch of the issues with them.
The quality, because the video quality I heard
they fixed the video quality. The buttons and the sticks are now the buttons and sticks have an improved
micro switch.
Yeah, stuff. The micro switch. Yeah, that's all upgraded. So they're much better, and now they're starting to include labels for their stand extender. They have it's basically you can buy a box that'll fit underneath.
Yeah, that's the stand that makes it a little bit taller.
Yeah, it's like an extra foot taller. And now, I think starting with the fall wave of cabinets, they're gonna come with labels that can go on those, so that they'll be properly themed. So the Marvel label has the Marvel logo and then Thanos on the side, so that you can make it taller, but it won't break the theming of the cabinet, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, 2019 in terms of honestly nerd media is honestly pretty good. Honestly, in terms of media,
it's insane, and I'm loving how much we're getting, but I'm also getting so overwhelmed. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, trust me. Unless you're the Pokemon fan base, which is right now in dumpster fire. God.
But my hype moment right now is that the Power Rangers board game has hit distribution centers, and so Kickstarter backer rewards are going out this week, I think, to be delivered in the next couple weeks.
With the power
and I'm just going to be patiently waiting for that ship email. Because the closest distribution center to me, I think, is in California, so I should be getting it, once it ships, I'll get it within the week it ships. I'm going to do videos on that. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do custom drawn thumbnails for that, because honestly, it's kind of make a thumbnail with a template right now. A core game template, I think it would be kind of difficult, because what do you...
I'm not going to be doing any board game content beyond Power Rangers, I'll tell you that much. I love board games.
I think I'm just going to make a specific Heroes of the Grid thumbnails probably then.
Yeah, because I want to do videos covering it and like the future expansions too. Like just because there's gonna be more stuff. Like there's already the bulk story pack coming out in, like August.
I love it. Oh, I freaking love when that got freaking announced. Like, yes.
I was watching the stream and they just pull out these miniatures and I'm like, oh my god, they didn't. And I was like, they did.
I'm like, come on. We just need a Lightning Collection figures of those.
I think that's like a perfect exclusive kind of thing. Like,
yeah, like, you know, people like, okay, like, you want to get talking about stuff like that, like, we're never getting civilian figures. We are never, like, people, like,
civilian figures have trouble, like, okay, like, we get people in suits occasionally for Marvel, but they never really sell that great, even when it's, like, Nick Fury.
Okay, that plus, like, I think, okay, just so we don't get in trouble, I'm not gonna name any certain names, but I think I think you know who I'm talking about. A certain big Kamen Rider reviewer says we should give civilian figures for the 5-inch line. I'm like, no, those were sold.
We don't want civilian figures. Like, if we're gonna get civilian figures, like in this hypothetical situation where, you know, suddenly normal-looking people sell well in a Power Rangers storyline where everything else is spandex and monsters. Dragon trap me. There you go. No, the thing is like, the reason why we're not going to get civilian figures is because to the average consumer, they do not care. And for the basic line, that's even worse of an idea because they're not even going to look like the actors. There's no way to do it on that lower price point. You need photoreal to even get close to them looking okay.
Or for, if at least do something like that for Lightning Collecting, especially for maybe the MMPR staff, I just want to have to do figures of the comic civilian designs because.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Yeah, like, especially when we get, like, I mean, when we get Uranus Slayer, that'd be kind of weird to see, like, some weird Amy Jo Johnson Ranger Slayer look. That'll honestly look weird, honestly.
The thing I know is that, it may not be like Amy Jo Johnson. I know that with the Star Wars line, the clever thing they did was they were able to incorporate characters from Clone Wars, Rebels, and comics by giving them a realistic twist on it so that they match the rest of the figures, which are photoreal to the movies. So that way you have those other characters from other mediums, but they match the live-action characters on your shelf, so it doesn't look like you suddenly have, like, a cartoon standing there. Because the Rebels cast is beautiful in Black Series. Like, they pulled them off wonderfully.
Yeah, like, here's the thing with the Lightning Collection. Some of the face sculpts for the Lightning Collecting characters look fine, some look iffy. I think the problem, my problem, it kind of stuff, like, it's weird, like, Hasbro, when the realistic faces are, like, here have Ant-Man, where the Paul Rudd face looks great, and then you can have Brendan Magia for Dino Charge, where he's blank stare. And I'm like,
well,
okay.
Here's the one difference that I'll tell you there. So the way the process works, basically, is that Hasbro gets photo reference. So, for example, for like the MCU Marvel Legends, the reason why those look better than anything else in the market is because they get high-quality images in multiple angles from the production when they go to shoot the movies. Because it's part of the licensing deal, so with Marvel Studios and Hasbro, so they make sure that, like, Hasbro says, all right, we need these angles and these shots of this actor to replicate it. So then Marvel Studios, when they're on set, goes and takes all those pictures once they're doing the fittings for the actors. That way they can get them done right. The only trip-ups is like when they have a CG character and the costume changes between concept art and post-production and such. But with Star Wars and Power Rangers, they can't do that because the things have already been filmed. So what they have to do is look at reference photos from the series on the set or anything else in order to create the face. That's why some of them are going to look good and some of them are not. It's very similar to Star Wars. Like, they tried, I think, 3 times with Princess Leia before they got one that looked like Carrie Fisher. And that was just like a trial and error of doing the same face over and over again.
And they can't just simply ask actors, like, the scan their face because they might look different from now.
Right, exactly.
Back when they film.
The thing is that, like, you know, I think going forward, like, it wouldn't surprise me if during Beast Morphers production they got those photos done.
Yeah, because I think from what we saw...
Since they are in charge of the production now? But I think,
Yeah,
like, for
from
past
what we
seasons, it's
saw-
always going to be hit or miss. So you just got to make, like, the thing they got to do is make sure it gives you the resemblance of the character. So you look at that head and you're like, that's Tyler.
Yeah, like
that's Jason.
Like Tyler,
that's Tommy.
Yeah, they look like the character. I just my biggest complaint is they're like dead stairs.
Right, like they're not perfect, but as long as they resemble the characters and they're still doing the job they set out to be.
Yeah. No, like Doggy. This past week, before I went on vacation, I just rewatched all SPD, and I'm looking at the Lightning collecting Doggy Kruger head, and like it's accurate, but like I think my problem is like the facial. It's like there's. I think the thing is like Doggy Kruger's. The problem with the Lightning collecting Doggy Kruger head I noticed is like. He has a very wide-eyed expression compared to the show where he's always kind of looking stern or serious. I think it's like the complaint with the Doggy Kruger head sculpt. It's still pretty good. It's one of those things I noticed while watching SPD. I mean, it doesn't help that I'm watching on the HD TV, so I notice those things more.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, like, I love the Doggy Kruger head. Like, it's just... the Doggy Kruger head, I think, is the closest thing to the perfect it's going to get, because it's all done off of reference from the show itself.
I mean, yeah.
And, like, I think that they could tweak the paint on it and maybe include a correct morpher if they go to do... I think... Here's the thing. If anyone's asking what civilian figures are actually going to get made, my suggestions are...
Costume character...
Costume characters like Kruger or Zenowing.
Gingy,
yeah, but...
Piggy? Can we have a Piggy like you collected figure? Piggy?
Piggy could, but I feel like Piggy's not, because he's not a fighting character.
No. Again, I rewatched SP. He got your Helen back in that series.
He does. He deserves a figure, but it's one of those things, too, like, Star Wars even has trouble putting out, like, more obscure characters than them selling, and that's Star Wars where that's the norm.
I mean, like, I don't see, like, doing, like, Monster Week figures unless they're really popular, because trust me, we're gonna get Pumpkin Raptor and Pudgy Pig in Lightning Collect. I swear to God we are. But, like...
those are the two most popular, it seems, nowadays.
But, like, I think for, like, some, like, I think we're mostly get generals, like, I think we might have a possibility getting the most of the Ninja Storm generals, since there were a shit ton of them, and like I would love to have like Zergane and Mother Drone and
I think
Zamatsu.
For the foreseeable future, we're probably going to get main villains that have some popularity to them, unless they're also being sold in exclusives. Like Goldar is a GameStop exclusive, which a lot of people are like, oh no, GameStop. I'm like, well, they have a really good ordering system. It's not going to be too hard to get.
Honestly, I find more stuff in GameStop than I do in Walmart nowadays.
I literally went to GameStop on 2 different occasions and found new Star Wars figures both times, while I've gone into Target 14 times in the last 3 months and found nothing.
I found the new Dragon Star wave of Dragon Ball in GameStop than any other store. I found, like, they have the new Broly Gogeta, Kid Buu, Super Saiyan 3.
Oh yeah, like that's where I buy my Dragon Stars from GameStop. I don't buy them from anywhere else, because either they show up way too late at Walmart, or they're just... or they're just not available.
I need to tell you, my local Walmart, like, first off, they have an army of goddamn movie lost and Gwenpools. But like looking around, they have like Captain Marvel stuff. But the one thing I was like, what? At least they had a Wonder Man Legends from the Abomination wave. I'm like, where did this come from?
I never even saw that wave at any retailer. I ordered it online when I bought. What was it? I bought Scarlet Witch from pre-order because I knew she was going to be like the hard to get one. And then everybody else from Abomination, I just I picked up on Amazon. I think I spent $40 for 5 figures.
Yeah, I was looking at you, it's like, oh, there's Captain Marvel, there's the Army of Lost there. And then looking around, I saw like the Wonder Man logo. I was like, hey, what? And there it was, the Wonder Man sticker from Abomination from like 2+ years ago, I think.
They probably found it like lying in a stock room somewhere. And they're like, oh, we never put this out like 3 years ago.
It's like, I mean, I swear, these Walmart and Targets, it sounded like this case of Nutsy Bomb movie lost. Because, like, every everywhere I go.
It's because she and Ant-Man were 2 per case, but then people bought like the figure art or the Marvel Select, I guess. It just doesn't seem like that figure should be hanging around so much.
The movie Lost Legends is alright, but like it really street army. Like I have Gwenpool, the Legends Gwenpool, and she has more bulkier arms than movie Wasp. I'm like, I
think Legends Gwenpool's a better figure. I actually bought. Wait, why did that end as a draw?
Yeah, like,
why did the match end as a draw when I won distinctively?
Yeah, time limit.
I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, no, the thing I was to say is, like, I bought the Marvel Select Ant-Man and Wasp at Disney Store because they look better, they have more articulation, and they basically, yeah, like, they basically are better figures, and they're more accurate because they were made after the movie, you know?
Yeah, well, for me, I bought them mostly because I needed Ant-Man and Wasp in my collection, and, well, I missed out on that Stinger and Scott Lang kit back that I really wanted. So it's like, those are going to be my... So those two are pretty much my substitute Ant-Man and Wasp until they have releases new ones. And at least with an Ant-Man figure, like, since it's not that movie accurate, I can, like, shoe-way it in as a sort of, like, evergreen Ant-Man figure, like, since a lot of the, like, cartoons and games are using that design, like Ultimate Trees using that design, using a similar design to that, so I can easily squeeze that design in. And plus, it's actually a really good figure. Figure don't kind of wish a little more accessories. And then Wasp is like, the thing with me Wasp is I only pick it up because like it's one of those things where I kind of need to pick them up as a group because like you can't have Ant-Man and without the Wasp, especially for the MCU ones. So it was like they had to do a duel.
They get both in the same style, which is why I was like, oh, I should just get the because I like Ant-Man's my favorite MCU character. So I was like, oh, I should get Ant-Man. And I was like, nah, I gotta get Wasp. I gotta get both. So they're both are needed.
Yes, I mean, I got because I previously got those Disney toy box figures, which are really good. Those Disney toy box figures, and I got them as a pair. That line's a really good line, but I had to stop collecting it. It just sucks that it's only
at Disney Store.
Yeah, I can't.
That line.
I had to stop collecting that line because I'm collecting that line for Disney and Disney and Pixar characters at most because I have the Baymax and Hero for that line, and they just released. I
got the Incredibles. I've got the Toy Story characters.
Yeah, I want to get those ones. I want to get those, like, I want to get the Stitch. They just released the Stitch. They just released the Stitch and Mickey and Minnie. I want to get. So yeah, I'm kind of restricting myself to those ones because like Star Wars and Marvel I can collect for Marvel Legends or like. I don't collect Star Wars, so I might get at least one of those toy box Disney Star Wars figures. So because at least want to get one Soul Trooper probably. But still, like, I want to collect more. I wanted to collect more online, but one of those I had to stop because, like, I don't want to collect. We're at the point where it's like there's so much lines that I can't collect anymore because of budgetary reasons.
Yeah,
like,
that's how I am with like me right now. Transformers. Like, it's like I'm barely collecting Transformers. I just get like a few.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we have a new comment.
I
just noticed. Hey, Orville, Joel,
Conception Junior.
Yeah, what's up? I'm playing Battle for the Grid, unable to get new characters.
Because Sony's being stupid.
Sony's being stupid.
For me, I'm collecting Siege, and that's like, I love that line. I hate that how the mark those prices up.
I hate the markup. Like, I love the line, but I just don't feel like buying all the same characters again. Which is why I've just been sticking to new characters, and I bought Ironhide because I thought the old Ironhide from you.
Well, yeah, for me, thankfully, I didn't have a lot of those characters already, so thankfully that line's perfect for me because I didn't have.
It's a great line if you just got into collecting Transformers in the last like 5 years. For me, I've been collecting G1 updates since Classics in 2006, which was like 13 years ago, so I have all these characters, and there's just some I don't feel like buying anymore.
Yeah, for me, I did have a lot of those previous versions, but either I broke them because I was a kid, or sold them off because I needed money. So it was one of those things where It's one of those things where it's like, if I had one of those genie wishes, I would wish to have. One of my wishes would be, kind of wish back everything I sold off, like games and toys and stuff like that. Kind of look back. One of those wishes I would make, because like I almost collected the whole entire animated line in the kit, and now all I have is later Megatron, Magnus, Voyager, Optimus, Voyager, Shockwave, and stuff like that. And like I love animated still, and it's my favorite series. So I really wish I still had a lot of the figures I had as a kid for that line. Same with Cybertron. I recently picked up there's this really good in San Francisco. There's this really good pawn shop there, toy shop there, like retro toys. And I got a Cybertron Hotshot, the Excellion repaint, the one that looks like Hot Rod.
Oh yeah, that one's really good.
Yeah, this figure is great. So, and I also got Studio Series Dark Moon Megatron for only $25. So I'm like, yep, getting that. Like, because it's like, you can pay $50 or I can pay $25.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get $25. Yeah, and like, for me is like, because and like, so kind of getting the Hotshot, realizing this figure weighs more than the Voyagers of Siege.
It weighs more than like Leader Siege Shockwave.
Yeah, it makes me go like, the Toyners. They for the Toyners Siege getting a little bit better now than like the 2010s were like kind of a dark age.
Like there was a bad time with like economic recession and everything. Right now, the toy industry was able to fight back against all toys being charged a 25% tariff from being imported from China. That got pushed off, which was great because the companies really rallied together because that was going to really hurt the industry.
Yeah, because like the reason,
toy manufacturing costs are up because of a lot of different reasons. And just general inflation, so it becomes difficult, and it's like, yeah, I've gotten used to $20 being the standard action figure for a collector.
Yeah, now, yeah.
It took a while for me to get used to that, but now I'm used to it, and so it's like I just kind of accept it and roll with it.
$20 for like Marvel Legends, Lightning Collection, stuff like that. I'm fine with. So I got used to that. It's just the whole paying $20 for like a Lux now, and I'm like, kind of need to get used to like, ugh. So yeah, but yeah, because like the reason why 3 and 4/4 inch figures were like the dominant figure size at the time, because of that, budgetary reason.
Yeah, the economic downturn made 3 and 3/4 inch like the only affordable line, so that's why like Marvel Legends was out. Marvel Universe came in.
Yeah, like poof. And now, and then. Yeah, and like honestly, like Marvel, like that Marvel, Marvel Infinite. That was like the big comeback wave with
because there was like the Return of Marvel Legends, which didn't seem to do much, and then Marvel Infinite came in and was like, "Yeah, we're doing six-figure waves with building figures again," and it's just been building since. I feel like there's too much product coming out now. I feel like they're starting to overplay themselves a little bit because there's like way too much. It's like I can't keep up anymore. Because they got it. Aw, connection lost. Got me to the point where I was just buying like everything, and now I'm like, how do I afford anything?
But the Infinite series, that Amazing Spider-Man 2 wave and that Winter Soldier wave, I like to kind of like make that like the poster boy of this modern comeback, because like ever since those two waves came out, like that the whole 6-inch figure thing started coming back. I mean, Mattel never technically stopped with the 6-inch figures.
DC Classics, in all intents and purposes, is only ending because Mattel's using their DC license.
Because Mattel's really right now.
The thing is that even though it wasn't called DC Universe Classics anymore after a certain point, it kept rolling. It was like, now it's the Matty Collector's Signature Collection, as well as the retail DC Unlimited, Batman Unlimited. Then it was.
But then there was
something else, and then it was something else,
and
then now it's DC Multiverse, and they finally got the figures to be great.
But they keep changing the packaging. But even though still keep calling multi, it was my head like with Mattel's 6-inch figures. It's like they were good at the time. But the problem with this into recently, they never really evolved for me.
They finally evolved last year, and then they stopped their distribution center. Like, the thing was is that they finally got good with the Clayface wave, yet that wave was impossible to get anywhere. And even online it was impossible to get. And then we had, like, finally got the Lex Luthor wave, which went from 6 figures to 4. Then we got the Lobo wave, which finally was happening. And then now we're... I think the Ninja Batman wave is the one that's coming up.
I want to complain about... Okay, I think another problem I had with Mattel with DC stuff is, like, what is the deeming? Because that Batman Ninja wave is, like, it's a Titans wave with Black CW Black Lightning.
Right.
But yet the Build-A-Figures Batman Ninja... Like, what?
I know it's weird. Batman Ninja was announced at last year's Comic-Con as a single-pack figure. And
but now it's a Build-A-Figure?
Demon King Joker was going to be the Build-A-Figure, and it was going to be a Justice League-themed wave, and there was a Black Canary that looked absolutely beautiful and all these other things, and they aren't happening. There's a Batman wave that's been put up for pre-order, but we haven't gotten pictures for it, with apparently a Killer Croc Build-A-Figure and an Alfred. And I'm just like, just release this stuff and let this be over with. I don't want to do this anymore.
Mattel, you're gonna lose the licenses here. Release it, for God's sake.
Exactly. The only thing they put out this year is the Lobo wave. Well, technically speaking, the Shazam wave is the only thing they put out this year in a mass quantity. Because like the Lobo wave, I got last November.
And then I just.
And then they showed like 35 figures at last year's Comic-Con, and then proceeded to release like half of them. Like there was here's the thing, Titans theme wave. Why wasn't the collecting tech figure Mammoth, which they showed? Like sure he was using the old Validus body, but why was Mammoth not the Build-A-Figure for a Titans?
No, Santa. It's not Bootman. We need to have a Bootman figure in this way to sell it.
Seriously, like that mentality was awful. But like, yeah, because especially it screwed up the Lex Luthor way because they put 3 Gotham by Gaslight Batmans in a case, and then 1 Vixen, but there was 2 of everybody else. So it was like, well, you could have had 2 complete sets in a case, but then you decided that Batman was more important to you.
Yeah, like all of this stuff reminds me of the dark, like the 2015 era of Legends, where it's like, like, do you remember the movie Hulkbuster wave and how bad that was?
That wave was the whole idea behind opponent left match. The whole I got the Rangers with the core trophy. Hooray. The whole Hulkbuster wave I think was made to sell the Hulkbuster. It was characters that were obscure enough that some people cared about. But
that wave is ultimate budget wave. Like the thing that
ultimate budget wave was Abomination because not even the Build-A-Figure was new because they pulled it from a Comic-Con pack.
Right, that's true. But like the Iron Man Now figure was like goddamn 2008 Iron Man figure, and like that's not a Legends figure.
Yeah, no, that was and the thing is too on top of that, like on top of that, it was like they made the comic design match that armor so Hasbro could make that figure. Yeah,
and like it was like at that point I'm like, when the hero Master Iron Man Now figure looks more like the Iron Man has more effort for that Iron Man Now design than the Marvel Legends, where they actually like thought to like made reset repulsor palms on that figure instead of the here's a red dot on the Iron Man palm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, yay.
This is why I'm really glad that Hasbro decided to take the approach with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection to do the Star Wars style of, well, we're starting out with 4 figures a wave, but everybody's pretty much a unique sculpt at this point. There's some sharing of parts, but not like to the Marvel Legends extent. But I think once they build up their stock of parts basically from a few waves, then they'll probably amp up figure production once they're successful.
At most, I think the Rangers should have seen beat, I think, at most, in the knee joints, unless you got the Cougar.
Yeah. I think when I was checking, they all seem to be unique sculpts with minus maybe the thighs and hips.
Well, Doggy Cougar was kind of unique, right thigh because it's striped.
Right. Yeah.
So we're gonna get repaints of Power Rangers.
Well, yeah, Power Rangers is the easiest thing to repaint, and I think once they got several new molds out there, probably wave 3 or 4, wave 3 or 4 are probably gonna see another Dino Charge Ranger maybe. Maybe we'll get Coda in wave 4.
I'm pretty sure we will get like the Dino Steel Rangers because they came.
And I
with
think those are coming like years from now. Like I'm talking like
years now. Like,
years where it's like
I would love to see a fighting collection of like the Samurai Mega Modes or something like that because I like those designs a lot. Or like maybe I'm not sure how they would do like Battleizers or not. I would like to see Battleizers.
Battleizers could work like the $30 Black Series price point that they've done like Grievous and the Gamorrean Garden, where it's like
and like they can like
unique mold, larger size figure, that kind of thing.
Or like Dragon Armor Trini, like Overwatch. I don't think it'll be the same like big size, but their Overwatch line too.
The Reinhardt.
Yeah, the Reinhardt. I could easily make like a Dragon Armor Trini, figure out that kind of style. So I don't think it'll be that big, like Reinhardt, but still, like they could do that. There's like a lot.
They have a lot of options with this line, and the thing is that Bandai of America was always insistent on we have to repaint everything possible. Like everything has to be repainted, right? And so like to see Hasbro just being like, "Yep, here's a whole wave of new sculpts," is just awesome.
Yeah, like that's like the Power Rangers as like a collector's line. It's set in Sentai. It's kind of difficult because the line, let's face it, most of that line is going to be repaints, and like I get where Bandai America is going with how the recycling collection line. It's just the problem there is like. Like having the Build-A-Figure being per team and stuff like that, it's kind of a eh.
The Build-A-Figure per team meant that people didn't have to buy every figure, which the point of a Build-A-Figure is to get people to buy every figure. The other problem was that because they released all the teams right away, it was like, well, here's your 4 Mighty Morphin Rangers on the same body. Here's your 2 female ones on the same body. You basically had 2 molds across 6 figures right out of the gate. So the variety wasn't there. With Hasbro's approach of, let's just put, like an all-star lineup, kind of, let's just say, you get more unique variety.
Yeah,
you get variety that way, and I think the variety is very key.
Yeah, I think when Hasbro, when Lucky Collector first came out and when the controversy of those figures started coming in, I always kind of thought, like, maybe they should have just kept them as the 5-inch figures because like you have all those Red Rangers from Megaforce, some Megaforce's line.
Right, like they didn't
back then.
Yeah, they definitely should have continued that.
Yeah, back then when before Lightning, I thought like Bandai should have done like instead of doing these new 6.5 inch, right?
They're 7
so,
inch.
7 inch line.
Like that's the other problem is that 6 inch is the standard. Bandai of America went with 7 inch, so it doesn't even blend in with other lines that well.
Yeah, they should stick with the action hero like stuff. Like so, like at most it could be consistent because like we have all those Red Rangers. You can have all those Red Rangers. Maybe you can re-release them like MMPR with the Dragon Shield. You can re-release them with better paint accessories and stuff like that, or
just like expand the line that they already started instead of trying to start fresh.
Or Mystic Force Red Case. Give them the cake.
Yeah, exactly. Because like. By expanding what's already there, you already have a built-in fan base instead of creating a line that does not scale with anything.
Because
Power Rangers or non-Power Rangers. Like, if it doesn't scale with anything, people will tend to just pass it by.
Yeah, for me, like, that's why I don't for Gundam. I don't collect Master Grades. I don't collect Master Grades because I like everything to be in the same scale, so like...
Right, and like for me, I mostly pick like the high grade as well, and that's why I like real grades, because I get the complexity of Master Grades. But in the scale,
at
I
least,
like.
And thankfully, real grades have been getting better and better since Unicorn, so like they don't have that stigma they used to have.
Oh yeah, that old frame is gone, and I'm loving it. I'm loving how everything's getting that frame these days.
Oh, I have my first Gunpla I thought was the Strike Freedom real grade, and I regret getting that figure because it's not that great. And I have the real grade X-Ray, and that's not great. So like. And I have the double O, whatever double O's final form is called, whatever Ixia's final form is called, I have that one, and it's in shambles because everything broke. So I kind of had that stigma for real grade, but then like Unicorn came out, so like unicorn I've been meaning to get for real great unicorn I've been meaning to get for a long time. Mostly because I want to buy 2 super kids with 3 different forms. So yeah, I've been meaning to get that. So like, the only exception for like I've been collecting hybrids I collect SDs because it was. Really, SDs is like they have their own series, so I collect that, and plus and plus they had this new cross silhouette stuff with the now it's breaking out to the Mazinger cross silhouette. It's like my new favorite model, like one of my new favorite model kits because it's just a really good figure, and they're now releasing the other Mazingers. Do you think that's Gal Gagar?
I think Gal Gagar's coming too. There's a lot of great stuff in that line.
I only picked it up because it kind of, me and my friend kind of dubbed it the Super Robot Wars line because like it's pretty much all they had the similar proportions to Super Robot Wars. So yeah, I want to collect that line, stuff like that. So yeah,
I just picked up 2 of the figures from the new Gundam Universe line, which is Tamashii Nation's. Let's enter the Western market with our 6-inch action figures that have articulation and accessories, but a nice little $25 price point. And I love them.
Do they fit? Do they fit in with high grades? Question because because 5.
Not even
close.
Because
high grades are like 5-inch, right? 5-inch.
Yeah, they're about 5-inch. Gundam Universe figures will tower over high grades. They're not quite master grade size, but they're like the same height as Marvel Legends.
Yeah, and like
so they're big and they're chunky and they're made with that like it's kind of like feels higher quality than Robot Spirits. So it's like it feels more like just like an action figure you can pose and pose and not have to worry about things breaking.
You could possibly like give it to a child pro on the wall and it probably won't shatter to 10 million pieces.
I think the only thing that might happen is the V-fin might break, but that's about it.
Yeah, most.
Hey, look, someone left the match before it even began. I won again.
Coward.
Like Gundam Universe, I'm gonna do videos on them because. Yeah, I really love them.
Well, will they be a review? Because I don't think because they won't fit into Market Monday.
They don't fit into Market Monday. They'll just be normal reviews. I haven't filmed them yet because I haven't had the energy level to do it. But I got the RX-78 and the Unicorn. They didn't have the wing at GameStop, or I would have gotten that too. But
yeah, and I guess we can discuss. I guess we can also discuss here because I'm pretty sure people want to hear your thoughs on this.
Real quick, let's answer a question from the chat. How does Doggy fit into that helmet? Guess what?
How does Xenowing?
Magic science.
This time warp space Doctor Who target.
If you ever watch his morphing sequence, you notice that part where the helmet comes from behind the camera and flies straight at his face. Yep, that just crunches his head, and then when he demorphs, pops back out again.
Yeah, like it's like same with Xenowing. I guess the
Xenowing comes from above, so it just comes down, snaps shut, and you're good to go.
Yeah, at least Xenowings have a short snout. You could be decorated where it just magically appears on his head.
Exactly.
Also, I guess since we can discuss this, since this is a big topic right now, since Anime Expo, the whole Bluefin Kamen Rider thing, right?
Okay, so they've done Kamen Rider surveys before, so I'm hoping this time this is the one that actually does it. But as I've discussed with Wheelchair, Bandai, if they want to expand Kamen Rider to the West, needs to get out of the Japanese mentality of do a survey, because that's really not how you gauge interest anymore on stuff in the West. It's more social media interaction and stuff like that.
So what I'm getting at, because I hadn't heard most of this. I was on vacation when I was all doing it. Give me a sec. Wait, give me a second.
I love it when the back button goes away because then that means an opponent's appeared. Match found with the person that just disconnected last match. So hopefully they're having internet trouble and not trying to fight me again with just dipping out at the last second. Yeah! Cenozoic era planet Earth. I don't know how to fill time when I'm on the stream alone. It's so scary.
Look who we have here.
I'm going to destroy this Mastodon Trooper with my sword. And opponent left match again. I hope they're not having internet trouble, because that would suck.
You are weak. I let nothing stand in my way.
Yay. I'm up to Platinum Rank 3. How exciting. The last 4 matches I've won because somebody disconnected.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
There you are.
Sorry about that. I had to do something. My parents had to call me for something.
No worries.
So, hey, as I was saying, so what I'm getting at is Bluefin and Bandai really want to try to fully bring Rider from the west to the west, right? That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, they're looking at the possibility, and they've looked at it before. They've been testing the market sales-wise by letting Bluefin release, like, Seihos. There's some Seihos that come over, like O's, Kiba.
Like, yeah, because the re-release, like, well, he did, like, did it really? Because I know
the re-release Riders did come out over here, yes.
Okay, so I just probably didn't. My GameStops or stuff like that didn't probably didn't have them because
they probably like what I imagine happened, because I haven't seen any like Rider figure arts in a GameStop yet. Is I'm probably thinking that just because of the brand visibility, they probably would take pre-orders and they'd order it for you and then get it in. But they probably weren't just ordering them just for normal stock in the store.
Because like probably because like they you know it's import property and they don't know they don't want to take a risk. They want
like
to
with
take
Gundam
that
Universe, they just put those out on the shelf because Gundam is getting more well known now. And Gundam is a property that's been around in the West for a very long time. Even though now it's having its big resurgence. Kamen Rider has not had much of any popular.
We either have Masked Rider, or Dragon Knight.
I mean, Masked Rider and Dragon Knight happened, but it wasn't like they were cultural phenomenons to the level of Power Rangers or even how Gundam was. So, people just don't know what Kamen Rider is a general statement. So I think they're trying to gauge interest. But I think they also should know that the hardcore fans are the ones doing the survey, not so much just casual people. Except maybe the difference here is that they actually gave the survey at Anime Expo, people that came by the Bluefin booth. So hopefully that did some awareness. And I think advertising Rider at a anime convention is really smart because Rider is very much like a live-action anime in a way, with the way its characters and drama play out.
Yeah, like
oh come on, connection lost again.
He's so like what the biggest thing is like what Rider in the West, like I heard some people want they want adaptation, they want this official subtitles, some want dubs. Like what you think it's gonna be like the big US bringing over here thing?
I think adaptation is out of the question because that costs a lot of money. With adaptations cost money to produce, especially when there isn't a form of
audience. Like they don't know.
They don't know what the audience is, right? And the biggest uphill battle that Dragon Knight faced was that it just was seen as like a spin-off or a knockoff of Power Rangers.
Power Rangers knockoff because there's so many people still have that mentality.
Right, people still have that mentality, and they probably are going to have that mentality with any future adaptations. That being said, some very successful things have happened in recent memory. That would be simulcasting of Ultraman on Crunchyroll, and also Blu-ray releases of Garo by Kraken Releasing. Plus, Amazon's did show up on Amazon Video.
What was it called in the US? Like Amazon Riders?
Amazon Riders.
Right?
Yeah, Amazon Riders is the official US title. And that's the stuff that needs to stop. They need to keep the same titles as the Japanese titles, because otherwise people can't track things by looking it up.
Drive Rider, XA Rider, Ghost Rider. Wait a minute.
Exactly. That's the thing, is that if you keep the Kamen Rider name, you get a recognizable branding. Plus, we've had Super Sentai sold pretty well on DVD as well, which is nice. And then to that extent, like, you know, it seems like live action stuff is going to do better, I think. Ultraman just got an announcement today that it's getting Blu-rays, starting with Ultra Q and Ultraman, And apparently Mill Creek's got the entire home video rights to the entire Ultraman library.
Hopefully it'll be better than the previous Ultraman release.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with Mill Creek. I did not like the previous Ultraman release. I didn't like a few other releases ahead of them. They used to be a very budget company, but they started doing Blu-rays in the last year or so, and they put out like a Blu-ray of Tezuka's Metropolis, which was like the anime adaptation of the German silent film.
Back to action.
And they put it out on a steelbook. And it turned out to be a really great release. And ever since then, they've amped up their game. I got their Mothra Blu-ray in yesterday. The original Mothra film on steelbook, on Blu-ray, with both the English and the Japanese versions included. Picture quality's oh, great, connection lost again. Picture quality is absolutely fantastic. Audio quality is great. Packaging is gorgeous. It's a steelbook with an additional like plastic slipcover on the top that adds to the picture on the back and the front. Looks absolutely stunning. Great,
so they have a budget.
Great release.
They have a budget now.
Great release that of a movie I really love, and it's like $15. And I was like, this does not seem possible, right? Like Mill Creek, their biggest advantage was they're cheap. You can get cheap.
Yeah,
releases.
they're the budget DVD
They're the
company.
budget. Now they're the budget company that has quality behind it. Much like Kraken Releasing is a budget company that has quality behind it.
Forfeit time.
So Mill Creek essentially has made it so that their releases have gotten to be higher quality than they used to be, which makes me very happy because I've always liked some of the stuff they've licensed, but I just couldn't get past the quality of them. Which now I feel like I need to go back and pick up that Metropolis Blu-ray because I wasn't sure if I was going to do that because it was Mill Creek. But with this being said, like now they have Ultraman and they're releasing the series. They're releasing Ultra Q and Ultraman in October. Their Ultraman Blu-ray is 6 discs as opposed to the DVD Ultraman they did, which was only 4 discs. So there's not going to be weird compression issues. On top of that, they each come with 28-page booklets. These steelbook releases, which will be separate from
it'll be on the actual spindle.
It'll be an actual spindle, yeah.
Horrible, like, paper things.
God, the horrible paper things. But yeah, so, like, basically, you're gonna have, like, there's a steelbook option, there's a standard Blu-ray option. The standard Blu-ray is, like, $10 cheaper than the steelbook, I think. The steelbooks have the series number on the spine, so those will look really nice when they're all lined up together. The front covers have the series number on them. And to top it all off, they come with digital codes for a digital copy of the series.
Oh, and here's the thing, I think they do have the whole entire license because I'm not sure you saw, but Samurai released official English logos for from everything up to RB.
Yep, and then this announcement happened where we got basically they have access to the entire library. The way I read the press release was like when Right Stuff got the distribution rights to every Gundam series. And it's like, yeah, every series from here on out, like for whatever thing that's in our library, basically. So I imagine that includes everything from Ultra Q through Rube. And I think they're going to go for it, because they're doing 2 at once. They could be, I don't know how fast they're going to release them.
Seven, and then Jack could be next, who knows. I doubt it, but I want the Tiga DVD, the Blu-rays to come with the book and stuff, just to have it, because like, Nozomi Entertainment's got, Nozomi's got to put both English dubs of the LA and Canada one.
Yeah, that's the thing is, see, Nozomi's smart. just a side tangent about Nozomi's Gundam Seed Blu-ray, which I'm sad it's delayed till 2020 for the fan part of me, but the budget side of me is perfectly fine with that. Just push it away. It's okay.
What's even funnier? What's funny about that is Carrie Guerin.
We'll never give
she's the voice director for the LAC stuff. For the longest time, she's been wondering when that was coming out. So when they announced that, she was really excited to see that finally her first show she directed is coming out.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like we've known about this dub for like 2 years almost. I think like the new dub was like announced like 2 years ago.
We have most of the voice cast announced.
And Sunrise wanted to debut it on the Blu-ray, and Nozomi's wanting to do it right. And the thing they said is that they said instead of rushing it, they want to take their time. Because the Ultra Edition is going to be a release of original Seed, SD Seed, with the original English Bandai Entertainment dub. as well as a release of the HD remaster with the new NYAV post-dub. So what ended up happening is that I think what probably took longer was getting the SD files prepped for the SD version. Because I think the HD remaster and getting the dub ready, that's pretty much, like, they said the dub was complete during their panel. Like, dub is done.
Yeah, that was done. That was done. I remember seeing Erica Mendez and like Max Millenhan and all the rest of the actors post like the completed like the whole cast photo of them saying they're finished with the dub. So me and my
and it's already gone through post production. It's like good to go. The Rate remaster. I think what might be taking longer is, you know, pricing it out, maybe the physical bonuses, and then probably they're trying to figure out if they're going to be allowed to do. Because they have to get, you know, approval from Sunrise. I wonder if the SD seed is going to be an SD Blu-ray instead of doing a, instead of having like
DVD?
A DVD, yeah. Instead of a DVD, an SD Blu-ray. So that way, instead of SD seed being like another 4 to 6 discs, or probably closer to like 8 discs. Instead of being another 8 discs on top of how many ever discs are in the set, they could just do like a 4-disc Blu-ray or 2. I don't even know. Probably like even a 2-disc Blu-ray would cover all of SD seed. It may be. We don't know if the SD seed is also going to include the Japanese audio or if it's just going to be SD seed.
I forget. Is this box just for Seed or both Seed and Seed Destiny? I forget.
So they're going to be making one. They tease that they're making one for Seed Destiny, but right now they're focusing on Seed. And I imagine that they might be including Astray with Seed and then Stargazer with Destiny. That would make the most sense to me.
Because they dub NYE dub both Seed and Seed Destiny.
Yeah, they dub both, and we know they're doing both. I think they're focusing on Seed right now because I don't imagine they can do 2 Ultra Editions at the same time. And I think if they were to put,
I think a combined full show will be a pricing nightmare.
Oh yeah, pricing nightmare. Imagine putting Seed. Seed HD, Seed Special Edition, Astray, Stargazer, Seed Destiny SD, Destiny Remaster, and Destiny Special Edition with dual audio in a set that normally, like, these Ultra Editions come with, like, you know, art books and
like
stuff.
Like art books, and sometimes like those cool Special Edition stuff. Like
and so the thing is, if they put them together, it's going to be like a $600 set minimum. But if they split it up, they can probably put into like 2 $175 sets. Like, that's my thought process on that.
Yeah, and like, you know, I like
hello, Kiryu. Whoever you are in the chat. Welcome to the chat.
You know, it's so cool to see how much effort to put into this for a show like I don't care about.
Right, like the thing is like, I have not watched Seed. I've been holding out, and I want to watch Seed this year because Blu-ray did get delayed. Like, I want to watch Seed this year, so I'm probably going to do that. But yeah, no, this show, it's very popular in Japan. I know it has fans in North America, but it's also the only show where they have this issue where the HD remaster cuts episodes and has different runtimes and all that. Because the Double O remaster is exactly the same timing as the original, so they're able to use the Band Entertainment dub no problem. But the Seed one is like 2 episodes shorter for Seed, and then Destiny has an extra episode, and the timing is all wonky, so they had to redub it basically.
So yeah, also apparently, I think something that was weird HD version of Seed.
Time for
include like nudity or some kind of partial nudity in the new reanimated stuff. It's weird, but I gotta check it out. Like same with you, but like I never cared about the Seed universe, and plus a lot of the Seed things I see in the Seed universe really bothers me. Like, really kind of annoys me because, like, I just don't like the Heartbreak and Sleep thing. It's not as bad as Age, but I kind of really used to watch Age because I just don't like anything I see from Age.
I liked Age.
But,
I didn't love it, but I really liked it. I don't know why.
A lot of things Age, I think my problem is the tone of Age. Like, they make their children, like, not the same age as the Build series characters. But yeah, it's still like a
I think the problem with Age was that it had it was level 5. So
the whole level 5 thing where it's like, the first
it was
game,
like, look, we're making a an SD style game, and then like, oh wait, you want us to make an anime?
The first game flopped because it came out the same day as a Happening Miku game. I'm out. It's like reminds me of like the whole thing with ghosts and Amazons when that happened. But so yeah, but so so yeah, but something as a Build series fan, I kind of hope it's never gonna happen down because Sunrise is picky, but like I want them to read them. Build players and try because.
I agree, because the Divers dub is amazing. Like, it's amazingly good.
The Divers dub is good. I love the Divers dub, and plus, people, a lot of people have said, a lot of people who didn't like Divers when it came out, said the dub fixed a lot of issues with the original Japanese. One because a lot of the Japanese had a lot of newer actors.
I'm just gonna let Zeo Gold beat up on me for a bit to see some of his moves.
so you can see him.
I really want to play as him, but Sony's dumb.
So like honestly, it was a really smart move to have Divers be free on YouTube for both sub and like all the languages because like
that was really smart. And the thing is, I don't know what's happening with Divers' Blu-ray, but the fact Funimation keeps Funimation of course is streaming Divers, which they streamed IBO and they've streamed a couple others, but.
Yeah, so they're probably, it's like, they've released Iron Blood, so they probably released Divers, maybe. And they're teaming up with Azumi, right?
Iron-Blooded Orphans was, so basically, Iron-Blooded Orphans, Iron-Blooded Orphans was done by NYEVA Post, which is the Unicorn Dubbers and the Seed, redubbers. Like, that was their dub, right? And Nozomi is like more of distribution and disc release. So Funimation did the disc release. Nozomi was not involved with that. And they confirmed that. Someone asked them at the panel if they were involved with the Iron Blood Orphans release, and they said no. It was all Funimation. Because their deal was for the entire Gundam library, but it didn't include IBO because it didn't exist yet. So they didn't have to do it. I think the reason why Sunrise had Funimation do it was because Funimation can get distribution to stores like Best Buy, and other retailers that Nozomi stuff just doesn't get to. So I think the reason why is because they knew IBO was going to be popular in North America, or is popular in North America, and they knew the sales could be higher if Funimation was distributing. The problem is that Funimation also likes to split up a 25-episode series into two sets.
Parts. I hate that.
And then also make them combo packs so that you're spending $100 just for 25 episodes. I hated it. I did it. The special editions, including Gunpla, made it sort of worth it, but I still didn't like that.
Oh god, I'm not looking forward to they do that Divers release because like I have the Build Players DVD from Nozomi, and I got that during the sale, and that was only $15 for that whole entire series for 25 episodes. And like that was an amazing deal, but I love Divers, but I'm not gonna chill like $50+ on it.
Here's the thing with Divers is like this is the problem is that like I don't know who's doing Divers. Funimation keeps promoting it. I get it because they're streaming it, which makes me worry that they're going to release it because it's a newer show. But I also am like, you know what? I think it's probably better, like it would be a safer option to do Nozomi instead. And the only thing, like I said, the only thing with Divers that's going to work is that unlike IBO, it has just the one season right now. And I don't think they're going to wait all the way till a year after the next series.
Re-Rise, is that the new series down now?
Right, like I don't think they're going to wait till Re-Rise. Like, I don't know, because, like, IBO, was like, season 1 year, season 2 the next year, but...
Yeah, with Rewrite, that's a separate series, like how Try was from Virtual Build Players.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. Like, I don't think it's a continuation, so there's no reason to wait. I think they just want to,
Well, here's the thing, like, with Diver, like, here's the thing, like, I heard, but I've never seen something where, like, apparently Funny's teaming up with Nozomi, apparently. It was, like, Nozomi, but I think it was only for, like, shows for streaming, so I don't think it's, like, they...
Yeah, Funimation and Nozomi do have a partnership now, but I think that's so that Nozomi show... Yeah, it's for Nozomi titles to stream on Funimation. Like, stuff like, Utena and Aria and things like that. None of the Gundam stuff is announced as part of that deal, but I wouldn't be surprised if that also happens. Because Funimation already has some Gundam on their server.
Yeah. But, like, here's the thing, like, like the thing is, divers, like the problem is, I love divers, but like I think we have bad either market it as a normal anime DVD because like divers, like they should like divers is like it's best market for like younger fans, kids, that stuff. Like the build series is meant for younger fans and stuff.
Right, and so like releasing like a $100 Blu-ray set for what is essentially a kids anime. Because if they split it in half and it's still combo packs, because I think, honestly, we are so beyond combo packs in this world. Like, we do not need Blu-ray DVD combo packs. And if we do, it needs to be an option, because I'm kind of sick and tired of having to have all these useless DVD copies when I'm buying a Blu-ray from Funimation.
Yeah.
I'm buying a Blu-ray for a reason. I don't need the DVD copy. If I wanted the DVD copy, I'd buy the DVD copy.
Yeah,
but the fact that combo pack is the only option, or there is no I wish if there was single Blu-ray, I wouldn't complain about this, because they've re-released stuff on single Blu-ray, like Tokyo Ghoul and like I think it was Code Geass as well. Like, there was stuff that they re-released, and it was literally like $20 cheaper because it didn't have the DVD copies. And I'm like, okay, can we stop having the DVD copies then in our on our normal releases, and not just the re-release?
Yeah, because there's some, there's some shows that finally has I want to pick up because, like, they have, like, Science Gate, kind of like Science Gate and, like, Day Alive or High School DxD or a lot of shows I like to play and, like, their dubs and stuff like that. I want to pick up and, like, watch at home and support, support the release, yada yada. But, like, I'm not paying $50 for a 13-episode series just because there's a DVD in it.
Exactly, and that, like if it was like $30 for 13 episodes, I'd be fine. That's how the Dragon Ball Super Blu-rays are, and it's perfect. Like I'm okay with that.
My Hero Academia. Ugh, instead of doing the Dragon Ball thing where they do that, they just have the part 1, part 2, and have this comments like why? Don't do that. Like seriously, no one, like those are gonna be shelf warmers in a lot of stores because even people who like who are big fans of My Hero Academia would not show $80 for the collector's edition in the store because it's the only copy they have. They'll just probably go to the streaming service.
That's the thing. If you price the official release too high. Okay, so like there's streaming options for Funimation. Like, that's the smart thing that they've done, is that they have their own streaming service that has a lot of their titles. And I do say a lot and not all. It should have all if you're going to charge this much for the physical media. Because if you're going to charge this much and your service has limited library, people are just going to pirate. It's easier, it's cheaper, it's more affordable.
Yeah, I mean, the problem there is, the reason why a lot of the funny stuff, some funny shows are not on their streaming service is probably because of a lot of shows are shared with Aniplex, and Aniplex is a whole entire different story.
That's a whole can of worms I don't want to get into.
Yeah, but like, so like that, a lot of the Aniplex kind of like deal probably restricts them for streaming service, so they can release those shows on Blu-ray, but at that high cost.
Yeah, no, Aniplex's like own Blu-ray releases, like how is it $215 for Gurren Lagann? That's not that long of a show. And we're talking like a bare bones release too. It's not even like it's a special collection.
Yeah, they're releasing anime cells at work, and they're getting a dub for that. And I really like to pick it up, but it's a 13-episode show that costs like $150. And I'm like, no.
Have you seen the prices on their Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood sets, which Funimation already released like several years ago? Like, the Funimation prices, like, it's sad when the scalper prices for out-of-print Funimation releases are cheaper than the Aniplex base prices.
You know, like, you find that you're probably finding some, like, Brotherhood Blu-rays and stuff like that, or original series DVDs to Blu-rays in, like, some local stores for, like, a cheaper price, and you can get at
most definitely, yeah. Like, I bought them when they came out, and, yeah, it's like... Aniplex, oh, let's take the Funimation license away. Oh, we're just going to re-release it for more expensive later. Like, really? That's your strategy? That does not make you money. I'm sorry. That's not how this works.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of how Funny splits things into 2 parts. Nothing would be as bad as Aniplex, like Kill for Kill or Kill. That's in 4 parts. When that was released in 4 parts, and like those 4 parts are like only have like 5 or 4 episodes. They will cost like $50+. I'm like, ugh.
I think the game glitched. I'm stuck at the command center stage and it hasn't progressed forward.
Zordon is confused.
Zordon's really concerned why we're still here.
Yeah, but still, like, yeah, I have like some God, like, and, like,
yeah, and it's sad
like,
too because Funimation's Brotherhood Blu-rays were stacked to the teeth with bonus features, and the Aniplex ones have clean openings and endings.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're getting less, but you pay more. You pay more, but you get less. Ah.
Yeah, basically.
Hit.
Well, I think
like,
that's gonna cap off this stream because the
game froze, and maybe try one more time to see if Gold, Trey, and Jen are available. One more time.
I'm gonna have to quit the game, and that's gonna cancel the stream.
Okay.
I can't actually. So I'm basically stuck, and so I think I'm gonna have to just end the stream for today. Now that private lobbies are a thing, I'm gonna try to schedule something with Hero Club, and maybe we can do a little bit of a tournament.
I would join, but I have the Switch version, and Sony is no cross-platforming.
I'm really annoyed at Sony. Everybody else has crossplay, and everybody else has the characters except for Sony, and I'm just like, man, I bought it on this system because I wanted to use my arcade stick, and now look where it got me. So thank you everybody for tuning in.
Enjoy us rambling for like an hour about stuff that is not the game, like usually streams.
Without the new characters, there's not much to talk about the game. It's just, hey Sparks, say this, say this. So hopefully, once the characters get released,
on Sony, on the PlayStation.
From Sony, we'll probably do another one. If that's later tonight, then it's not happening tonight, but maybe tomorrow. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We're gonna sign off now. As soon as goodbye, I can't even read the button I need. There we go.